Hi guys, I'm MuscleWhispererJosh, and this is going to be how we fix your diastasis recti. So as promised, I know I posted on my Instagram, mamas, I'm going to help you guys. I know the medical industry would lead you to believe that this can't be fixed and that this is an issue that you have to have surgery for. That is not true. I'm not going to say that's not every case. There is cases where the medical industry and surgery is definitely a necessity. In almost every case, that is not true. The rib cage gets pushed out of the way, the belly opens up, pushes out, it opens the abdominal wall. It's not rocket science, it's simple anatomy, physics, and just the alignment of things. But I'm going to show you some foam rolling techniques, some stretching techniques, some basic exercises. I mean, exercises are not what this is about. It should not be an exercise-based thing. That is just to simply help strengthen things so that they can have the power to kind of push things back into place. But the reality is, guys, it's not something that we need to force fix through exercise and creating more tension. It's already the tension that's screwing us up. And the misalignment is truly what's going to cause things to improve. Because once we get the alignment there and we get the rib cage to drop back down, it's simply like when the rib cage moves up, it opens up. It's just, look at it, it's right here. So you can see the opening right here. And the more this shifts up, it's going to pull open. And then throw in the pressure of the belly as you're pregnant, it just simply pushes the abdominal wall open. It's really not rocket science. So what we're gonna do is basically show you how you can get the rib cage to drop. That's the main thing that you need to do. And so again, this isn't really gonna be focused on exercise. I'm gonna give you some basic plank stuff, and that's all you're gonna do. The main thing you need to do is open and align. Everything will drop down, and you'll notice that just like when I worked on my friend the other day, I made a post about it. But I basically, in just a single hour, she wrote me the next day and said a 2-finger hole had basically closed up. For the most part, you know, she'll definitely book another session and we'll go in and check and make sure it's there. But she said it's almost all the way gone. So if in just an hour, I'm not a wizard, you know, I'm just somebody who focuses on the sheer foundational and fundamental things. It's tension, alignment is what controls most of the body. It's what pulls our joints out of alignment. It's what causes us pain. It's what throws us off in workouts. It's what challenges our body from being able to progress in workouts and exercise and things like that. And it's no different when the pregnant mamas come out and their stomach just kind of pushes itself open, because obviously the baby is trying to take on whatever shape it is, and the body doesn't really care what shape you started in. It's trying to figure it all out. You know, some people start with some pretty severe issues and then they go having a pregnancy on top of it. And it just really, I mean, it's like throwing gasoline on the fire for a lot of women. And I work with a lot of these women, and it's an awesome thing to be able to help them through it. So I don't want to talk and ramble anymore. I can do that while I'm working. So initially, I'm just going to start with some basic foam rolling and just show you guys exactly the way that I would do this. Obviously, I don't have diastasis recti, but I hope you guys don't think it's too funny to learn from a guy. So here, this is the most common foam roll that everybody does. Now guys, when you foam roll, I don't want to get into a whole other video on this. You can watch my other videos, but when you foam roll, you don't roll. You only roll to find the point of tension, the pain, and then you sit on that pain and grind it out until you release that knot. So you consider each knot like a button. The harder the knot, the harder you have to press that button, the longer you have to press that button before you reach the bottom. Once you reach the bottom, we all know a button clicks something on. So in this case, it's going to be a release. We push that button to the bottom, we've got to be patient, we'll get that release we're looking for. If we rush it and we roll around, in most cases, you're just going to scrape away the fascia and the scar tissue and the things that are hiding these issues. That's why you don't scrape back and forth, that's why you don't move back and forth with the roller, that's why you sit with constant pressure and you keep moving it around just to stay on top of that pain. So you'll see me do that here. This is the only one that I really roll, because you're going to roll down your back, but you're going to roll as you move the tissue in front of the roller. So you don't move to go over it. You'll feel these bumps. And if you go rolling, you're going to go right over the bumps that you need to release. So we're going to stay in front of those and push them, almost as if you're taking a roller and kneading dough. So just start at the top, put your arms up. This will kind of create a cavity between your traps and going into the shoulder blades. Once you feel that sink in, you're just going to slowly, I like to grab my head here, dig in, pinch my shoulder blades here, once I've got it, and then I'm just going to slowly push this tissue down my back. So right now I found a pretty good spot, so I'm just going to sit on it. And guys, I'm going to do this a little bit quicker, but please go slow, because I don't want this to be a 90-minute video. I want this to be a quick video so you guys can do this and have things to focus on. So please I encourage you to go slow. Only stay on top of the pain, wait for it to dissipate, wait for it to change, and then move on. The more patience you have, the faster this process will be. So pull your head back and forth. This is a good way to go. Once you get on these spots, it will help you to activate and release them. Got a good pop. So you go right about to your mid back here. We don't want to go to where we're having to curve the back down. We want to keep the butt actually, where the pelvis is neutral. So you want to go right about to the mid back. Once you get right here, we're going to go basically let it sink in. And then you would do the same thing coming back up. Now I'm not going to demonstrate this, but you just basically let your butt go down. So you're kind of hooking the tissue on the roller as you go back up this way. You see me rolling here. So this is what you would follow here. That is your starter, okay? That's your number one thing that you're going to start with. That basically is going to loosen all the tissue on the top of the back, the shoulder blades, everything that's grabbing that rib cage, and then we're going to go down. The second two things you're going to do is going to be in the armpit area. The rib cage gets shoved up, and you'll feel it up in here, and you'll feel how it just gets all the way to the top. It feels like it's impinged and jammed into the bottom of your shoulder cavity. So on your sides, you're going to get right between where your arm meets the shoulder blade, and you're going to feel the top of the shoulder blade, like you can hook on it like this. You see how it's stopping me like a barrier. So this is where you put all your pressure into the roller, right on that spot, and you're going to push the roller into your body this way. I'm basically trying to touch my body to the ground through the roller. So put all your pressure down like this. Once your pressure is in, you never let that pressure up as you move. Whenever you move, number one mistake people make is they let their pressure off as they move. You don't do that. You're using the roller to grab tissue and stretch it. So if you go over it, you just miss the whole point of the foam roller. The foam roller is used to roll only as you push the tissue into a stretch. So you get behind this sucker, you press really hard into it, you let it start to break up, and then you push it down the body into a stretch, and you'll feel stuff pop and release all the way down. When you get this to go down, you're going to not only feel your whole shoulder blade is going to feel extremely light. This is going to make your neck, your shoulder, everything feel good. But we're going to go all the way down our side of our body. This is where the issue is. This is where we need to get to. So we're going to come all the way down our body. Now I don't know if I'm going to go out of view, so I'm just going to slide here just to be safe. Last thing I want to do is shoot a 30-minute video and then find out it's messed up. So I'm pushing my shoulder blade down here. You see how I kind of keep this up? You can move your arm wherever you guys feel it the best. You can even move slowly, not like that, but you can even move slowly and help break these things up. So I would essentially go, as I'm pushing that down here, all the way. I would never go this fast, guys, remember. Go slow. You're going to come all the way down to your side. And as you get up here, this is where you're going to have to start bracing your hand and your arm here down so you don't put too much pressure in there. These are sensitive areas, and you want to be very precautious on how much pressure you're putting in there. You don't want to feel like anything's spasming or like really kind of vibrating and resisting you. You want to feel like you're actually able to press in. Even if I have to lift up like I just did right here to lightly lean into it, because this is really hard, then I want to do that, and then I want to keep doing that. I basically start with a little pressure, and then I keep pushing my body weight into the roller as if I'm pushing into this and stretching it until it's going to release. Same thing, I feel that move, I go down a little bit more, another spot right here, same thing. You go all the way into your gut, guys, but I want you to separate these two. Work from here to here, about down to where you'll feel the big bulge in the rib cage right at the base, getting down to the base of the lat, and then you want to do this all by itself. Sometimes, you guys, you might want to modify it with putting something like I'm about to do. I just happen to have my mat that I used to work. But you can use this to kind of keep this up so you don't put so much pressure and sink it right into this. This is a pretty tender area, especially if you gave birth. This area is going to feel pretty tender. So I'm basically got the roller between my gut, or in my gut, between my hip, and between my rib cage. And what I'm doing here is I'm just allowing it to sink in. Once it's sunk in, so I won't wait, have you guys wait for a minute. Once you've waited for a minute, you've really let this sunk in, you kind of just move just a little bit to keep the pain right where you are, and you're going to lift up. Take a breather, okay? This isn't about speed, this isn't about rushing, this is just simply about making sure that we're hitting the right areas effectively. So go back onto it once you've done that. Now we're going to start to move. The back is the key. Remember, your abdomen is balanced by your lower back. Your obliques help, but there's also what's called the transverse abdominis, the muscle that is our corset that's naturally inside our body. It's what balances our six-pack. So that's where the planking comes into actually pulling that corset tight. That's what pulls your abdomen back together. But if we don't do this stuff and we don't free anything up, if we don't loosen our lower back and open up all those muscles and all those fibers that have been beat up throughout your pregnancy, we're not going to have any contraction that's going to help us keep our abdomen tight. The looser our lower back is, the stronger you'll feel like you can squeeze your abdomen, guarantee it. So I'm gonna roll all the way back. I wouldn't do it this fast, guys. Remember, I'm trying to speed through this just to help you guys. All the way back until you feel like you're right about in the middle towards your spine. You'll feel a nice tender area. That's called your QL. You're gonna sit right here. I'll sit right on it, because if I get up off this too soon, even though I'm doing this video, it's gonna irritate this area, and then I'm gonna be upset trying to do the rest of the video. Well, I'm not gonna be upset, the muscle's gonna be upset. All right, so I'm pressing in really hard, and I've got this tissue, and I'm pushing it back. I'm rolling back over it, but I'm not letting my roller get away from it. And that way I can kind of push it in there and stretch it as I'm coming back around to the front. Now when you go to the front, you're simply gonna do the same thing. You're gonna find that little cavity, and you're just gonna roll to the front. Remember, guys, if you need to reduce the pressure, elevate your arm on any foam rolling exercise. So you go all the way to the front. I'm just gonna show you. You're gonna go all the way into the abdomen. All the way, guys. All the way until you feel like you are right to that center of that abdominal wall. Right where you would have the diastasis recti. Right about here. You should simply be laying almost as if you're just kind of twist off center a little bit. All right, guys, so that's the huge one right there. That's the one that nobody else is really gonna teach you. I don't know why, I just happen to be the one who likes to do that roll in there. But I mean, the psoas is one of the hugest muscles in the body as far as causing us pelvic alignment issues, pain, any of those things. So I'm a huge advocate for breaking down the psoas first on most any issue, because a lot of times our pelvis causes all the other issues. So we just relieve the psoas, and the pelvis kind of neutralizes itself, and it frees up a lot of things so we don't have to work them. All right, let me get this out of the way. Next one. Same first roll I did. Instead of the roller being like this, which would be, instead of it being like this down my back, not my chest obviously, but instead of it being like this, we're gonna turn it. So now you're gonna have the roller going down your back at an X. Well, at an angle, but we're gonna basically do an X, both sides, down like this. What this does versus the first roll that I did is it actually allows us to hook right in this region here. You'll feel where the rib cage really starts to run into all the musculature around our abdomen. That's a point that it just locks up. And it's also a point when you roll the other way where you get to it, and that's where you start to really impinge and kind of hurt your lower back, because the curve you have to make just to roll that low down into your lower back. So I'm still new to like editing this stuff, so my phone likes to cut off at a maximum limit or whatever. So I know what I was on, so I'm just gonna try and catch these two to where they're the same. So basically when you have these spots right through here that you can't get them with the roller when it's straight like this, because you'll curve your back too much, you'll start to feel it in your lower back. It's not safe. So we're gonna basically take it where the roller was like this, we're just simply gonna turn it, okay? Once it's turned, you're gonna roll it the same way, straight across it. You're not gonna roll like this, obviously. You're gonna roll straight across it this way. So to get up on it, you just get up on it, same way you would go. You notice I'm positioned almost the same exact way. Make sure I'm in video. Same exact way that I was when I did the first roll, except for now I'm able to hook this tissue that I need to, but I don't sacrifice my lower back, because the way the angle is, it still supports my body at the top and the bottom at the same time. So get here, you're gonna roll straight across. It's kind of funky because it takes you to the side, but you just kind of push yourself straight. You can pull your head the same way. You'll notice when you start to get down in this mid-back region, it feels different how the roller's grabbing you. So you try that, go all the way down, same thing. And you can notice when you get here, you can even go all the way into the lower back because it's supporting you. And then you're gonna come back up. Remember guys, I'm doing this faster than I would. I just wanna keep stressing that. Same thing, all the way up, all the way down. Switch, boom. Next one's gonna be right here. I don't know why I made that sound effect. But same thing, other side. Go all the way down. Pulling your head really helps to stretch this stuff too, guys. So sometimes the back and forth is cool, other times just holding it and letting it go down is what you want. This is really hitting right over here. So this is what you want, because this is going to be these two key points that you'll feel almost shut off when you try and fire your abdomen after you've had diastasis recti. And that's why I say the biggest thing is not exercise. It's actually relieving the tension that's going to bring us our alignment back so we can fire those muscles we need to keep our abdomen closed. Back in the day, your abdomen had no problem. Positionally, it was okay, so therefore the muscles in the lower back and everything in that musculature would able to keep stability, and the abdomen had never had a weakness created like that before where it had to have some kind of compensation to keep it closed. So, you've done some form lowering exercises. The only other one you can do, there's other ones you can do, would be to, now mind you, if you're breastfeeding, I would do this under the breast. Just because most likely they're going to be larger than normal, so doing it from the top would be a little bit harder. But you can do up through here so you can get into the armpit region. But if you are breastfeeding, what I would do is do one arm up in the armpit. Same thing, you're going to be kind of pressing and just trying to dig out anything right here where your arm meets your body. And that's going to be another point that's going to kind of lock that rib cage up there. So you do both sides on that. And then the other one would be, now you want to brace yourself really good on this one. It would be right where your abs meet your chest. It's right at the sternum. And you're going to go there, keep your butt squeezed, and you're just going to let yourself fall forward towards the ground. Very slow. Pushing that tissue down. Pushing that abdominal wall down. Then you go all the way down, all the way up. You can repeat that numerous times. Obviously, you guys will be doing this over time. When you do these things, I would try and spend a minute on each one, maybe 2 minutes on the longer rolls, and then I want you to follow it up with the stretching, which I'll show you. So the other one you do here, and this will be the last foam rolling exercise I show you, it's going to be from here, you're going to roll to the side. Same way we did the abdomen, but here you're going to be basically cutting the line between your chest and your abdomen. This is the one on the front that prevents us from getting the rib cage to drop down. So you go all the way to your side, all the way. I wouldn't go this fast, just reminding you. I know it's kind of repetitive, but you go all the way back to here. All the way back to here, and repeat that a few times. Same thing, you would go right to the other side. From the other side, you can see how it looks. All the way back to here, and all the way back around. Stretching. Typically when I stretch, I would stretch to use it as an indicator of where I need to foam roll, and then I would stretch again to confirm that I've improved that area. In this case, simply I just showed them to you. You can start with those, and then we're going to stretch afterwards. Most common one, simple lower back stretch. After you've done it, arm out. Good pop I got. That was a nice pop. Same thing. 2 minutes on every stretch, guys. Over. That'd be number one. The reason you stretch for 2 minutes is the fact that the nervous system, if it's been irritated in any way, it's going to be hyperactive in that area. So to get it to actually let go, we have to remind the body what we're trying to do. Initially, it doesn't matter. You can't just say, oh yeah, I'm doing this, and my body knows it's a stretch. No, it doesn't. It doesn't know if you're trying to do a bicep curl, if you're trying to stretch. It doesn't know if you're trying to do a motion, an explosive motion. So therefore, we have to be patient in order for our body to have the time to let the nervous system relax and kind of let go of its grip. That's why 2-minute stretches are important. 30-second stretches, all that really do nothing, unless they're an assisted dynamic stretch where it's a partner stretch, and then of course things improve. But for a static stretch by yourself, you want to start at a minute, and for sure really try and push for that 2 minutes. So second stretch that you're going to do would be simple Indian style, arm up, leans over. Another one that you can do, and you basically want to see how far you can get down here. I'm a little stiff there from the work day, so my flexibility is not on point, but going over, I'm a bad representation of a yogi right now. But those two, elongate the side. Next. Simple. If you did all your chest motions where you were rolling up in the armpit area and rolling down here, this would be good. And if you were doing the armpit area and the side, this would be another great one. And down into it. And so, besides, let me see how to say this. So, besides just your typical stretches, you want to do some T-plane. So like what I did in the first one where I was pulling and coming across. You want to engage here. You want to be pulling this way. You want to be pulling this way. That's going to be big simply because the way that it twists the body, it gets into the inner and outer oblique, it gets into that transverse abdominis, the muscle that's our corset, like I explained, and it also gets into the abdomen. It also gets into everything through the sides. Those are the biggest ones. The only other one that's really huge, because you really don't need a whole lot of them, you just need a couple good ones to open up what you did, is just simple yoga pose. And remember to squeeze your butt on this one, keep your belly button in, to protect your pelvis, protect your lower back. Beyond that, guys, the only exercise I want you to start out with, I'll make a more advanced one of these for you guys to do some more advanced stuff, but you really don't need it. I mean, these things should fix you, no problem. I'll probably make another video with some other foam rolling tips that I can come up with, but a basic plank, belly button in, butt squeezed, you squeeze the butt until you feel it in your stomach, and then you know you're straight. Just a simple plank. And the reason it's a simple plank is because duration-based exercises that are based on time that's the most functional exercise you can do basically for your abdomen, because it causes that corset I was talking about to cinch in around our musculature in there. It pulls in, so it allows our abdomen to come back. And once that happens, what's going to happen is it's going to come back together. So releasing this tension, everything through the back, through here, allows everything to drop down. And then we're going to basically use the planks and use different motions with those stretches and foam rolling exercises to allow the corset to get stronger. Now that the tension's not pulling on it, it can allow that abdomen to flatten or come back where it's supposed to be, and in turn, if it's not pushed all out, even if you feel like you've lost the weight and everything and you feel like it's still probably pushed out more so because it has more of the strength of tension from when the body was pushing that belly out, and the loss in strength and the tension in the corset that was in there because it was just basically being yanked on and not activated while you were pregnant. So you want to focus on those planks as long as you can, long duration exercises. You don't need to even do any fancy ones. The only other one you can do is a plank for your back. Basic hip thrust and hold. Squeeze the butt. If you're going to do reps, you do it very slow, but in this, we're really trying to keep it up and feel here. You don't want to worry about anything else. You want to feel belly button in, butt squeeze. This is a plank for your back. So you want to feel this tighten up through here. That's what you're focusing on in both planks. It's just feeling that corset cinch up. I guarantee you guys, beat the surgery, beat all the diagnosis and all this stuff, you know, beat the lack of hope, beat all that stuff. It's really not rocket science to fix these things. I'd be glad to help any one of you women that's out there struggling. It's my lifelong goal is to take these things away from you guys. So please reach out to me, follow my Instagram. If you're watching, oh, you're not watching this on Instagram, but follow my Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to come up with more things like this. Please shout out, let me know what you guys want to have me make more videos on. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to different things like this. I try and find the stuff that people struggle with the most. So, Muscle Whisperer Josh, I'm signing off, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you women out there who are struggling with diastasis recti, and reach out to me if you guys need more.